Hey everyone, welcome back to Catching Up with the Walkers. Thank you so much for joining us today, right here in the middle of summer, on our YouTube channel. This is where you clicked on. You clicked on a YouTube video because a long time ago we decided, it might be a good idea to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, what's this thing called YouTube that I deleted the app off my phone because I didn't think I needed it or that it was important. And then now all of a sudden we find ourselves in this weird journey of YouTube, and I never watch regular TV, I only watch YouTube. Kind of been a strange thing.
Well, it was so strange that not only did we start one YouTube channel, but about a year later, we started this channel, a second YouTube channel.
Because we just love all y'all so much.
Well, there you go. So, speaking of loving you and loving YouTube, and finally being to the point that we probably have a little bit of experience, we're no experts.
Anyone who claims to be a YouTube expert, that's where you should just turn it right off, because I can tell you, as soon as you think you got YouTube figured out, it changes. But also, there's so many people out there doing this who does things differently and it works for them. On our farm, we tell people, do what works for you. Just because we farm this way doesn't mean you should farm that way. And when it comes to YouTube, it's kind of the same thing. Do what works for you. Don't just do what someone else says. But maybe today we have some helpful tips if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or you've already started it and you're like, wow, this is a lot of work. What do I do next?
So that's where we're going to try to help you today. Right, Cassie? Cassie said she has this idea she's been thinking of for a while about a video that maybe would help out some people just getting started or thinking about starting a channel. And this is your video. Yeah,
so if you randomly found yourself on this channel and you're like, what is happening here? So our main channel is Walker Farm Fam. We created the second channel where we sit down, talk to our viewers, and to kind of discuss what's going on, because on our main channel, we have our kids over there, and most people just want to see them. So when it's just us two and our ugly faces, we're usually on Catching Up with the Walkers. So possibly you're like, what is even happening here? But like Gary said, we've been doing YouTube for 5 years. We have a little bit of success, I feel like. Gary actually quit his job 2 years ago, and YouTube's full-time. And
transition to a new job, which YouTube is my full-time job.
Exactly.
So I'm not jobless.
I like to mess with him all the time and tell him he don't have no job, but YouTube is a huge job. That's why we decided 2 years ago it was time for Gary to quit his job, because of all the time and effort YouTube was taking, and we took the leap on creating more awesome content for you guys, and it was time. So that's not why you're here. Aside from that, Gary said a while ago, what do you want to talk about? And I said, well, I've had this idea for a while, and I've been wanting to make a video about how to help people who may be starting out. And he's like, let's do it then. So none of this is scripted. None of this has been communicated by us. It's all been in my head. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it and see what Gary has to say about it.
So you're thinking about starting a channel, and you think you have something to share with the world. And you do. That's the good thing. Yep. There is such a large amount of people in the world that are already on YouTube. The chances of somebody out there wanting to watch what you're willing to share is pretty good. But it might not happen overnight.
Exactly. YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. Like I said, we had deleted YouTube off of our iPhones because we didn't use it. The only time I ever used YouTube was if...
You deleted it. I still used it because I kept it on my... because I was always looking it up to how to change the oil or stuff like that.
Yeah, and I did that less. So I would just Google how to blah, 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 and it would pop up on my browser. Gary had the app just to how-to things around the farm, how-to things while trying to fix the truck or whatever. But we used it for YouTube University and how-tos. We did not realize that there was hundreds of thousands of people sharing their lives on there, creating awesome content for not only for us to watch, but for our kids to watch. That was way better than daytime TV and all that craziness.
All the network stuff, satellite, things that you have to pay for with an agenda most of the time.
Yeah, so I already shared our family and our farm on Instagram at the time. And as I started looking into YouTube, I'm like, Gary told me, he was like, you already do that just in a much shorter form. We could do this in a longer form. I'm not good at scrapbooking. I'm not good at saving photos and printing them and all that. So I thought it would be awesome to have videos that one day we can go back and look and watch. And our kids do it all the time. We walk in the living room and they're watching old videos from when they were little and they're just cracking up and all sorts of things. So we went in with it as we're going to document our lives for our family. If something comes out of it, awesome. But I bet you nothing comes out of it, because who would want to watch us? Like, that's what I was thinking. So the number one thing is, I feel like, and we're going to be completely honest and try to help you guys. If you go into it wanting to make money or for financial success, you've already shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, because if that's your motivation, it's probably not going to happen very soon. Yes. Or very quick. And most people want instant gratification on that type of thing. A lot of times get rich quick schemes are just that, schemes. And hard work and dedication might pay off in the long run, but there's no guarantees.
Yes, and no one's going to lie and say, oh, I didn't do it for the money, or the money wasn't important to me. Like, all of us have hopes and dreams of, man, maybe this will turn into something one day. But it is so much work. And so when I talk to someone in person and they say, you guys do YouTube? We're wanting to do that because my husband wants to quit his job, or we want to do that because we need extra money, or whatever. I don't usually say anything, but what I'm thinking is you will never be successful, because you won't get instant gratification. When you do finally get monetized after months and years of hard work, your first paycheck is going to be
pennies,
$50, and you're going to be like, this was not worth it. So if you go into it thinking money, you've already messed yourself up.
So if you are at that point, you think you want to start a YouTube channel, it better be about something that you love, because you need to be doing something that you have joy in, because when you have joy in it, you can get excited about it. You can be excited to share it. You can keep doing it day in and day out, over and over again. And it just so happened that what we loved was our family and our farm.
Yeah.
We loved living on acreage. We both grew up on small farms. We both loved small farming. I loved to garden. Cassie loves animals and getting more animals and more animals and more animals, and then getting some more after that. And whenever you love that and you're able to share it, it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yes, and you guys have heard the saying, I don't even know how it goes. Help me, Gary.
You have to start it and I'll finish it.
Do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Do something, find work that you love and you'll never work another day in your life.
Something like that. So,
not true, by the way. It's still work. It's just you enjoy the work.
But what I'm saying is YouTube is hard work. People can say that it's not. People can say that it's a hobby. Some people do it for a hobby. They make one video every 3 months and it's not a big deal. But if you're doing it as a job, if you're doing it to grow your channel, if you are putting in the time and the work, it is a lot of work. But if you enjoy it, if you're going at it with, hey, if nothing comes of this, my grandkids have videos to watch later. If you go in with it with that mindset, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to work hard, and the money might not pay off initially, but other things will. Meeting people, your kids enjoying it, your family enjoying it, that will be your reward for a very long time.
True. So let's say you did it. You made that first video, which is the hardest video to ever make.
Not just the hardest one to make, but to upload, because you're like, oh, I did so bad.
And you might do, and you probably will do bad, and that's okay, because guess what?
It'll be bad for a while once you go look back.
You have to start somewhere, and that's why I feel like it's more important to start with what you got. Don't go spend $1,000 on a camera.
No.
Get you a good Apple, iPhone, or Android device. Whatever you have to record on, use it because you already have it anyway. It's easy. Edit with the simplest editing software possible. For us, iMovie is a great one.
We have been doing this for 5 years. Gary does it full time. We still edit on iMovie that is free on our phones, but we actually edit on an iPad. We can take that wherever we go. We find it's easiest. We use our cameras for our cell phones for a long time. Then we upgraded to a GoPro because we were afraid we were going to break our phones.
Or when you ride on a tractor, you don't want this. You want to go smoother.
For certain things, we use the GoPro.
Yeah.
And then before we went to Alaska in 2021 or
21, I think.
we bought a nice camera because we wanted to be able to take pictures and zoom in for our own things.
And a nice camera was a $450 Canon. We still didn't go crazy over the top. We still did something that, very reasonable for our nice camera. But the point is, our very first year, at least, we did nothing except an iPhone. And it wasn't an iPhone Pro that had 3 of these. Mm-hmm. It had one little camera on it. And guess what? It worked.
I was going to say,
we used it.
These phones have come a long ways. Now, if we went to Alaska, we'd probably just take the pictures on these phones because their cameras have come so far.
And the types of videos we do. So we try to put out a lot of content, meaning we do 4 to 5 videos a week on 2 different channels. So we do not spend the most time editing. Our editing is pretty simple. Yep. We do some music. We try to do a little bit.
It takes time because editing takes time, but it's basic.
Yeah, but our editing is on the lower end. You watch some channels that put out 1 video a week or 1 video a month. Their editing is superb, higher quality, and then we're okay with that. We've accepted that.
And that's fantastic if that's the route you want to go, but that's not what works for us, and that's not where we're going.
So the whole point is to get videos created, edited, uploaded the best you can, and that way you have something to start with. You have videos, you're building a library so people can come. They don't only have 1 video to watch, they have several videos to watch of whatever it is that you have to share that you're excited about. And now it's time to grow your channel. How do you do it? The do's and the don'ts. Which one do you want to cover first, Cassie?
Real quick though, I want to say first, if someone finds your channel by the algorithm, word of mouth, a viral video, or random, they want to be able to click on that and see, what else do they do? When I see something that I really like, a short pops up or YouTube recommends something, and then I go there and that's all the rest of them. I watched this really cool deer hunting video and then the rest of them are all about how they love French toast or something. Like,
why you man make me hungry?
Like, people want to be able to come and enjoy that content. So, the do's and don'ts. Where do we want to start?
Well, those ones you start with the don'ts
Okay.
that you've recognized in your time of viewing YouTube and other people getting on YouTube and doing stuff.
Okay. Some of the things are things that we did ourselves. Some of the things are things now that we're a bigger channel, and I use that lightly because we're not anybody. We see other people doing that. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Don't have anyone particular in mind. It's kind of like church. If you get your toes stepped on, that just what happens when the preacher preaches and the Lord convicts.
You saying the Holy Spirit's going to talk to him right now? That's a little much, Cassie.
I'm just saying, don't assume I have anyone in mind. We're just trying to be helpful. So, I'm saying don'ts.
Don'ts first is what we're going with.
Okay. Don't ask for a shout out. I'm going to say a do. Do try to build and form relationships that might turn into a shout out. What I mean by that is when we first got on YouTube, I started finding other channels our size. I wasn't going to contact someone with 100,000 subs when we had 3 videos and my mom, dad, and aunt following us. But I looked for other small YouTube channels that did what we did, 1,000 subs or less, let's say, and I started watching their videos and commenting on them. Did I have ulterior motives? Yes. 1, I wanted to help grow our channel, and 2, I wanted to make friends. That, I guess, was my ulterior motive. How do you get your name out there? If I comment on a video and other people are watching their videos and they start reading through the comments, I don't know what you do, but when I watch a video, I'm skimming through the comments, seeing if anything catches my eye. If I'm skimming through the comments and Walker Farm Fam pops up that says, "Awesome, I love this video, thanks so much for sharing," I'm like, do they have a channel? And I click on it. So I was going and watching as many videos as I could and commenting on them.
But not only to just watch videos and comment, but you were also forming friendships at the same time.
Yes,
with
exactly.
these people. Friendships that we still have today. One example, farm on Route 66, all the way out in Arizona. We stayed in their basement. Like, we went to their home. But they came to our home. We could reach out to them with a question today, vice versa. I mean... But
how did that relationship form? I didn't email them one day and say, "Can I come stay in your basement?" I commented on their videos.
That would be weird.
I got in their live chats. I never once in their live chat said, "We're Walker Farm Fam, come to our channel," or "Farm on Route 66, give me a shout out." I listened and I commented. And at some point, it got their attention of, "I wonder who Walker Farm Fam is." They came and watched our channel and they started commenting. Usually where you build your relationship is on Instagram through DMs or Facebook through DMs. At one point, just because we're talking about Farm on Route 66, at one point, either I got on Instagram and messaged them directly, or she did it. I can't remember. That started up our conversation. I'm not giving anyone my cell phone number, even if I think they're pretty cool. So Instagram in the messages is a great way to start forming those relationships and talking. No pressure. If I don't ever talk to her again, she doesn't have my phone number, whatever. So that's where the conversations started. And then at some point, we really got to know each other and it led into a friendship. I have DM'd, I don't want to say hundreds because that sounds like a stalker. I've DM'd a lot of people who have never responded, who responded twice and never responded back, or I have DM'd people who started responding a lot to me and I was like, I don't really think this person's who I think they are. And I kind of ended it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you, just like in real life, you form those relationships. Not everyone is going to turn into a friendship. You might end up collaborating and get a couple of hundred subscribers from them, or even 5 or 10, and nothing else comes of it.
Yeah, and that's what ended up with Farm on Route 66. We did a collaboration of cooking, things on the homestead, I think is what it was, or something to that effect. And we enjoyed their cooking video. We shared one, and it was just great. And like I said, we got to know them, they got to know us, and it just grew from there. Yeah,
so you don't have to meet someone in person to do a collaboration with them. If you go back on our early videos, we collaborated with at least half a dozen people all over the world. Like Gary said, when we collaborated with Farm on Route 66, she cooked a meal and then told them to come follow us, and we cooked, I think, like cheeseburger soup or something.
Yep.
And then More Family Farm in Missouri, they don't share anymore, so that's a relationship that we became friends. They actually came to our house. They're not on YouTube anymore. We haven't spoke to them in a long time, but they shared 5 things that they do on their farm to be efficient or something.
Yeah.
And we shared 5 things we do on our farm. And when they were doing their video, they were saying, go check out Walker Farm Fam to see what they do. They tagged us in the description. We commented. They pinned our comment. It is so important if you're doing a collaboration with someone, how they get other people to follow you is super important. You can go do a collaboration and do a great video, but if they don't take the extra steps to get people to your channel, it's not a very good shout out. So for me, it's very important that if I'm trying to get someone to really go check out another channel, I say several times, go check out Eddie Family Farm and tell them Walker Farm Fam sent you. I always say, tell them Walker Farm Fam sent you, because that gives them something to go and say, but that also helps me and the Eddies see who even watched this video and did it. But we also always tag the person in the description so that people can find it. The next thing we do is we always comment on their video, they always comment on ours, And we always pin their comment as another easy way for someone to find them. So if you're trying to give someone a shout out and you're not doing those things, you're making it super hard for people who don't understand internet really and how to find people. You're finding it really hard for help. You're not helping them make it easy to go find those people. That was a whole different rabbit trail.
Cassie went down that one a long ways. But I think it goes back to the grade school saying, if you want to make friends, be friendly. And that's can apply here just like it did then. So we don't know if this is the right order or not, but it's the order we're putting this out there in. Another very important part of YouTube, obviously, is title, thumbnail, all because you have about a half a second when somebody's scrolling through for them to click on your video or not. They're making a decision, a split decision, just like that. A lot of you guys are so awesome. You're gonna watch our videos no matter what, and we thank you for that. We appreciate you for that. But for our channel to grow at all, we have to gain new subscribers. And to do that, we have to pick out the most interesting part of our entire video. And sometimes it's hard to do that in a 35-minute video. But what we do is we try to pick out the most interesting part and kind of hone in on that part of the video. And if you're not doing that, that might be a reason why people aren't choosing to choose your video. I could put a video saying, every one of our family videos could be, our family had a great time in Northeast Oklahoma. Like every video I can say that because we do. We have a good time. But how many new people would click on that and watch it? Probably not very many.
It has been said, and this, I know there's people watching this who aren't YouTubers, but this information we are trying to get to other people who want to be creators. So I think it's important that other creators know, especially those starting out. It has been said that you will only get 10% views of your subscriber count. If you're getting 10%, you're doing a good job. If, like Gary said, we could put out a video over anything and our loyal subscribers are going to watch it no matter what. The 10% is great, but if you're trying to grow your channel, you're trying to get the people who've never seen your channel. You're trying to get the people scrolling through and it pops up and they're like, wait, that's interesting. I want to click on that. You can have the most amazing video, but if people don't click on it, they won't ever see it. So if you are getting 10% views of your subscriber count, you're doing a good job. If you're getting more than that, you're doing an exceptional job. If you're getting less than that, it's probably because either you're not consistent or your thumbnails and titles need a little more work. With that, a little tidbit, a little extra. This is for free.
All this is for free. I'm not
getting... I was waiting.
Are you going to pay me later?
There's royalty fees to watch this. But some channels do not like people to use their face in the thumbnails or their name in the titles without permission. We could care less because
we can't stop you. So
one, we can't stop you.
What are we gonna do?
Two, if this face or our name gets you 5 subscribers, bravo. But you're the one who has to keep them and maintain them. So if people click on your video because you used Walker Farm Fam, they have to choose to stay or go. And if your video keeps them, you put in the work. We're proud of you. But some people, bigger channels, things like that, it really irritates them. So you need to know if you're going to use someone else's face or someone else's name without permission, or they weren't even in your video, or you're just trying to throw it out there hoping that people will watch you because you used them, you might ruffle some feathers.
Well, that just made me think of something else, that what we were talking about earlier, the most exciting part of the video. Sometimes you'll get accused of the 2 biggest words, clickbait. Clickbait. So, clickbait, by definition, if you want to look it up, I'm sure we can look it up real quick, but to me, I'll tell you what I think clickbait is having something that doesn't have anything to do with your video as the title and thumbnail, and then people click on it and they're upset. But when we share a video, whatever is in our title and thumbnail is the reality of what happened. It may have only happened for 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
But it's also not our fault if you assumed something else was going to happen and it didn't, and now you're mad.
Okay, so here's the AI overview.
Oh, so it's got to be true.
Clickbait is a deceptive tactic used online to attract clicks by using provocative or misleading headlines and content. It often relies on curiosity and sensationalism to lure users into clicking on a link, even if the link content is of low value or potentially harmful. So the thing is, if you do that, if you clickbait people over and over, they're not going to watch your videos anyway. So don't do it. It's not a good thing. But at the same time, if you have something interesting that happens in your video, then use it, because otherwise you're probably not going to
What sets you apart from anyone else?
Yes. Well, yeah.
And people will accuse you of clickbaiting. People accuse us of that because we have interesting thumbnails and titles. Are some more elaborate than others?
Not very often, though.
Yeah, but people who don't really know who clickbait is still accuse you of that when they're just misinformed because they assumed...
Tell them how they're wrong, Cassie.
This is what I do best. They assumed someone was going to end up hurt or mad or whatever. That's what they assumed. And then it doesn't happen, so they're mad at us that their assumption was wrong.
Well, there you go. But at the end of the day, you're not going to see very many titles and thumbnails that aren't interesting, and that's the reason why.
Yeah.
So at this point, you've started your YouTube channel, you've got videos out there, you're making great titles and thumbnails, you're getting a lot of people
asking for shout outs
to watch your videos, and now the comments come, and you get totally deflated because people are ripping you apart. You have just figured out that people on the internet will say anything and everything because they're not face to face with you, and you can't punch them, okay? Because people won't say things to your face that they'll say on the internet. But the thing is, do not let comments control your content. Comments are going to come. They're going to be very, very positive. I get comments every day, I'm the best dad in the entire world. I get comments every day that I'm a horrible farmer and I should not let my poor cows eat range cubes off the ground. Both of those are not true. I am not the greatest dad in the world. I'm also not a horrible farmer. But if I let those get to my head, one way or the other, it's not good for me. It's not good for my life. You can either turn your comments off completely if you can't build a thick skin, or you can get a thick skin and realize that people making comments on the internet can be irrational. And that's what I'm going to say about comments. If they bother you too much, boop, turn them off and you'll never miss them.
Contrary to what some people believe, content creators do not get paid per comment. If that was the case, we would be like, comment a heart every 5 seconds or something. Like, we don't get paid per comment. Is it important for engagement and interacting with you guys? I think so. But a lot of people say the more comments we get, the more YouTube pushes our videos. I'm not going to say if that's real or false or truth because someone from YouTube has not told me that.
Well, and here's the thing. There may have been truth to that at some point, but the reason usually you're getting more comments is because you're creating better content, which in turn makes people want to comment more. But we have friends that have really big YouTube channels that have 0 comments and haven't had them in years. They've turned them off and their content does just fine. So don't put too much weight into them. If they bother you too much, just turn them off and keep creating great content.
Yeah, so wrapping it up, build relationships, friendships. Don't try to build a relationship just for what am I going to get out of it. But we do understand that sometimes that's why the relationship was formed, to see, you know, will I happen to get any subscribers out of it? I don't know if that makes sense, but you got to go in with the right intentions. Don't go in thinking you're going to be a millionaire in a year. You're going to get deflated. And if you talk about those type of things, you're going to turn off viewers because they don't want to hear the financial part of it. Next is, when you are trying to form those relationships, don't walk up to people with your camera in their face or trying to randomly video them just so you can use them. Put the camera down. Go up and have a conversation, get to know somebody, and then maybe down the road, you do collaborate with the camera. And what just popped in my head with that is Grounds Family Farm. We met them at the first Okie Expo. Then I saw them at the first exotic auction I went to over in the corner, and I'm like, those are the people that talked to me at the expo. I went over, said hi, how you guys doing? That was about the extent of our conversation because I didn't really know them. Then they came to a creators conference we were at. We got to know them even a little more. Then we started forming a relationship, talking on Facebook through DMs. And then I saw them at another expo. I saw them at another exotic sale. Eventually, we got on camera together because we had formed this relationship. Had I went up and stuck a camera in their face, or they got up and stuck a camera in my face, probably would have turned one of us off. So put the camera down, form relationships, see what comes of it.
And I know we've mentioned several names. I just thought about that. We have tons of friends on YouTube that we also are just friends with outside of YouTube completely. And maintaining just normal relationships with people is important. Every time we get together, it's not always about videos and not always about YouTube. Sometimes it's just about real life.
Yep. And
that sometimes is refreshing. So we are not experts. This is just something that Cassie thought she wanted to share with you guys. We have randomly people asking questions. So if you have more questions that you want to ask that might spur us into, making a different video one day or answering more questions, leave those down in the comments and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
But
hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And just know it is from our heart of how do we help others. People helped us along the way. People, once they saw our hard work and we had put out a ton of videos and we had got to 1,000 subscribers on our own, people took note of that and they helped us. We will never say that we got where we were because we did it all on our own. No, but we put in the work, the groundwork, we laid the foundation, good things came of it.
Yeah, and that is very important. It's going to be hard work, but it can be rewarding. And at the end of the day, if you're doing what you love, it can be a lot of fun.
You'll never work a day in your life.
Whatever. So I am right in the middle of vacation planning. Cassie, how much vacation planning have you done?
Speaking of building relationships, I have tried to contact some people along our way. 0 of them have responded. Well, someone had responded when we were going towards California.
Oh, now we changed it.
Our new route, no one has responded, and that's okay because they don't have to. And I don't even know if they read their DMs.
Some people don't, and that's fine.
Yeah. So another thing with that is I read every DM on Instagram and Facebook. I read and respond to every email that we get unless it gets lost in the shuffle. A lot of channels do not do that and they don't have to. But I feel like if you're going to watch us and you're going to take the time to DM me about something, obviously we can't answer every single comment on all of our platforms. We get way too many. We would never parent our children if we did that. But if you take the time to DM me or email, I do my absolute best to respond because without our viewers, Walker Farm Fam on social media is nothing. So that's another thing. Don't ever think you're too good to respond to a question, and we don't as well. So send us the questions. If I get a bunch of them, it might take me a while.
There you go. I respond to most of the comments, by the way, on the regular YouTube channel.
Gary responds to comments. I respond to DMs and emails.
So I try to respond to as many as possible, but if you're mean, I just block you. So
that's the other thing.
There's that.
This is a whole new video, but people want to say that everything's fine until Cassie gets involved and she's rude or tries to argue with someone. If I am trying to tell you why you're wrong, I'm taking the time to be nice and tell you why I think you're wrong. If Gary thinks you're wrong, you get blocked.
No, I'm not wrong. Mean.
Okay, you get blocked and you have no chance to take up for yourself. Some of you...
I do the wave like when I'm on the
Some
parade.
of you are commenting on YouTube.
See you later.
And you have no clue that you're blocked and nobody else can see it.
I don't know. Anyway, it's not...
I'm the nice one, people.
I'm nice too. I just don't accept that people can...
And
you talk bad about my wife, talk bad about my kids. You probably
and I like that. I just like to argue.
Again, you have to do what you can handle. What I was talking about though,
Oh, sorry.
Cassie went on this thing with vacation, is we're about to go on vacation and I'll be doing what I love with my family. We'll be vlogging about it and sharing it, and it doesn't get much better than that. So that's what I was going to end with. But you went 150 miles around in a circle. No, I'm just joking.
And that's why Gary doesn't work a day in his life, because he enjoys it.
It's a lot of work.
Boom.
I'll be up. I gotta stay up late and
Say
edit
your line.
this. So
Say
you
your
can
line.
watch it.
Let me go out with glory. Say your line.
All you can do is all you can do?
No, tell them bye.
Oh. You always say that's my line. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you have a great day and God bless.
We truly love you guys.